Alright, I'm not quite sure why Did it freeze on me? Alright, nope, it just took 9 seconds to decide that everything was okay. Anyways, hello everyone, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in to a game between Romantic and Lucifer, now taking place here on Ancient Isle. Romantic spawning as the red human on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Lucifer has spawned as the blue undead over here on the bottom right. Gonna go ahead and speed things up to 8 times speed, get things underway for you guys as we are looking at a Death Knight opening Tomb of Relics crypt with the graveyard, most likely meaning we will be looking at ghouls. Meanwhile, Archmage is gonna go ahead and go out creeping with some militia. They're gonna take a cut through these trees because that's just how they like to roll, and now go after the Ogre Magi and the Forest Troll Trappers. Death Knight already on his way, wants to steal that experience with a Death Coil. A well-timed Death Coil would be very helpful. An ill-timed Death Coil, well, is a loss of 75 mana. Archmage gonna go ahead and pick up that Claws of Attack +6, finishing off the last unit as the Death Knight could end up getting surrounded. Now going after those poor skeletal minions makes it for an easy target once again, as we are now gonna look at engage. Oh, Death Knight right there. Oh, Death Coil. Archmage does not get the experience. Death Knight gets a shot off and a Death Coil right there. He does end up getting some experience, but not really enough to make that big of a difference. Death Knight ended up giving some experience because of those skeletal minions, hence the reason why the Archmage is still so close to level 2. Back at the other end, some skeletal minions are trying to rejoin, and by the looks of it, we are going to be transitioning into Crypt Fiends since we do not see any ghouls joining up with Lucifer's main army. Skeletal minions are now taking a good bit of damage, but if all of that damage was on a single skeletal minion, that might be enough to get the Archmage to get him closer to level 2 by taking down that skeletal minion there. Death Knight still sitting at level 1. He's regenerating that mana as the militia are now making their way from the north in order to put pressure onto this Null Overseer creep camp and set up an expansion. Crypt Fiend should be joining in on that fight there. Death Knight with a beautiful denial as we are looking at some very strong micro play coming across. Skeletal minion now getting taken down. More skeletal minions looking to join in on the fight as the Archmage does get to level 2. Big downside right now is the fact that the Archmage is still just sitting at 75 mana. Doesn't have all of the necessary experience that he would like so far, but the sheer number of militia is making it incredibly difficult for the Death Knight to try and steal that last bit of experience. You can see the Null Overseer is just right there. Last Null getting taken down. Skeletal minions are now joining in on the fight here as the Death Knight is getting pressure down to 138 hit points. Peasants are now looking to back off here. Skeletal minion perhaps going to get taken down. No. Peasant with a bag of gold simply denied as the Null Overseer is still sitting at 202 hit points. Death Coil saves right there as the Archmage could try and take down that Null Overseer as long as he has eyes on the Death Knight. Eyes on the Death Knight shows that he is nowhere nearby. Archmage will get closer to level 3, picking up another Claws of Attack, this time +9. Archmage is going to be sitting at this expansion for quite some time. Surprised that there isn't a scout tower already, as we've already seen Lucifer go through his Rod of Necromancy so quickly. Also, the Death Knight doesn't have a lot of early heal options. So because of that, Lucifer is going to be confined to his base for a little bit of time. With that, it means that the Archmage is going to be able to get to level 3. He doesn't have to creep out all too much in order to get to level 3. Clearing out this 3-3-1 creep camp should do exactly that, as the skeletal minions are now making their way over. The reason why you need that Arcane Tower, though, is that those skeletal minions can still cause a bit of problems, as a Manual of Health is dropped. Archmage is going to be as studious as he is in lore, picking up that Manual of Health, and even though he is a professional player. All right, skeletal minion number 1 is going to get taken, or 1 is going to get taken down, and 2 is going to get taken down only after a peasant is taken out there. There is that scout tower now getting underway. Town Hall, economic advantage, all for human. Already upgrading the keep. Meanwhile, we should be upgrading the Black Citadel with a Lich on the way and eventually getting that Orb of Corruption. Death Knight finally getting a little bit more experience. Needs to get a Slaughterhouse up as well for that Obsidian statue, and we shouldn't see any strong fights between these two teams for the next, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes. Archmage should take this opportunity to try and clear out as many creep camps as he can. Meanwhile, the footmen are going to try and engage here. Oh, this potentially could be bad. There's a Frost Nova right there. One footman going to go ahead and get picked off. Not quite sure what that was about. Meanwhile, the footmen are still rushing on in to put in more pressure. There goes a death coil, but the death coil not going to matter very much as it gets taken down. 3 footmen at the cost of 1 Crypt Fiend. The math does not add up as a water elemental now being pushed back here. Romantic, for all the good he did early on, looking a bit sloppy now as Lucifer is pushing back the other way. Lucifer's army, however, should be stronger, or actually stronger, but still rather small as another death coil does come down. You got to remember that Romantic has a lot more workers as you see a Crypt Fiend getting taken out there. All right, going after the water elemental, trading a water elemental for a Crypt Fiend. 3 footmen versus 2 Crypt Fiends. The math is looking closer and closer again as the shot does... Well, it does get taken out, but it was denied by the Archmage. The Archmage's fireball had less distance to travel than the Lich's ice ball. As we're now looking at the Death Knight, now looking to pull back here. Obsidian statue is finally joining in on the fight. The Obsidian statue could do the Essence of Mana, Essence of Blight trick in order to try and get more and more casting and more mana onto both the Lich and the Death Knight while doing a bit of healing as well. With that Arcane Tower up, it is pretty much going to be impossible to put in that much pressure as the Arcane Tower gets 1 feedback shot off onto that Death Knight. All right. Skeletal minions. What is that Lich doing? The Arcane Tower can just remove much of the mana from the Lich. No real reason to try and engage there at all, as the Lich is now just losing all of the mana that was so preciously given. Both sides in serious trouble there, as we now see a drop into, or a Staff of Teleportation into the back. All right, it looks as though that 1 Crypt Fiend could get taken down. Yes, it does, as we now have a Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. Interesting use of the Staff of Teleportation to get into trouble in order to force the units back home. Mountain King is out and about, ready to go. We are upgrading to Castle already with the Blacksmith ready to go. This one particular tree needs to get taken out, or perhaps this one as well. Still no lumber mill though, and that does catch me by surprise, as we should be looking at destroyers momentarily. All right, already at 4 Obsidian statues with a 5th one on the way. Destroyer form, I don't believe is ready. No, guard tower, where is the lumber mill? Did I miss the lumber mill? Obviously I did, as the guard tower is already up. There is some absorbed mana. There is some more absorbed mana as well, and there we have it. All right, those guys are going to go ahead and just rush on in, try to take it down. You can see that splash damage and how quickly that gets taken down right there. Going after the next one, the little bit of extra mana making such a big, profound difference. And you can see how fast those towers are destroyed. This is going to be an absolute pleasant slaying, as we are seeing unit after unit getting taken out right here. No more extra damage on those destroyers any longer, but the Archmage and the Mountain King ready to rush on in anyways. Black Citadel is joining in and trying to defend a little bit more. Destroyer could have devoured magic, tried to, is it going to be able to get away? It is extremely low on hit points, down to 234, and now trying to fight back here. More destroyers are making their way over. There's some devour magic, as the footmen are now going to get taken down. Expansion is destroyed. Destroyer going after the footmen. Water elemental going to get taken out again, as the footmen now have to worry about all of these poor destroyers in the air. However, if this was a base trade in terms of workers, Lucifer is down to 2 mining workers. Meanwhile, Romantic is still at 5. The main base is still here, ready to go. That town hall needs to get taken down. Staff of Teleportation will be heading back, as we are now looking at the remaining peasants heading back off to the north. Death Knight, even after all of those peasants were taken out, only at level 3, and the Lich is only at level 2. Meanwhile, Archmage is at 4, Mountain King at 1, and the Mountain King benefiting from that extra Brilliance Aura mana. Archmage has plenty of mana, not quite sure why it's not dropping another Water Elemental, has taken down the Forest Troll Warlord, picks up an Ankh of Reincarnation. That is always extremely dangerous, as we're going to see a Devour Magic right there get a little bit more experience again. All right, Mountain King taking a little bit more damage. Are we going to see the death or perhaps destruction of another? Yeah, Devour Magic right there, going to finish off some more units. Wand of Illusion picked up. And now Archmage needs to get away. Death Knight is still here. Is it going to be able to Death Coil finish off the unit? Yes, it does. Ankh of Reincarnation was given to the Archmage instead. Very, very smart choice as well. That level 1 Mountain King would have just pretty much died once again once the Death Knight and the Lich's cooldown on both the Frost Nova and the Death Coil came to an end. Archmage once again trying to rush on in, put pressure where it can. Meanwhile, back here, don't look at the minimap. The minimap is, in fact, wrong. There is no base there any longer. And the Archmage is just trying to rush on through. How much damage can it really do here? Acolyte's now trying to run on in again. Death Knight with Death Coil. Well, there it goes, an Archmage trying to teleport away. This is going to be some easy killing. Death Knight gets up to level 4. Is it going to Death Coil the Ghoul? Yes, it does. Water Elemental not going to be able to do very much as the Obsidian Statue replenishing lost mana. Death Knight sitting at level 4. Lich still sitting at level 3, going up against a 4-1-1. That's the info, as the Paladin and Knights now being added. We do see a good number of flying machines being added. I don't know if the Flak Cannon upgrades have been completed. No easy way to see, as the replay interface has not been updated for esports casting. Anyways, let's go ahead, come back across here. Panda, the obvious counter to flying machines, as the Panda will huff and puff and blow those units away. Lich joining in, -5 armor debuff. Forest Troll Warlord quickly taken out. Meanwhile, Book of the Dead given to the Death Knight, and this is still looking very, very strong here once again. Mass Destroyers up in the air. Panda needs to get to level 3. Perhaps the Death Knight should be backing off to give that Panda more and more experience, as we're looking at, well, what is this? Flying machines now coming across inside here. Are they going to get spotted? This is potentially bad news here, as the Panda doesn't realize what is going on. Flying machines, flak cannons, all ready to go. Panda going to come across. There's a Breath of Fire right there, as the Panda wants to get more and more Breath of Fires off. Robe of Magi, Panda in serious trouble. It has no easy way to get out. It could get focused down rather quickly, as all the destroyers are now getting taken down. Stormbolt onto the Panda. Panda now down to 55 hit points. Will it be able to get away? Down to 60. Drunken Haze not available. Mountain King should be able to get off another Stormbolt, and there it goes. Archmage now sits at 5-1-1 right there, or 5-2-1, as the Death Knight wants to finish off some more units. Flying machines with, Death Coil coming across. There's a quick shot. There is now a whole bunch of skeletal minions out on the field. Are we going to see a Death Coil? Yes, we are. Robe of Magi, and we have the Ankh of Reincarnation on the Paladin. Paladin now gets up to level 2. Devotion Aura might be needed, as we are looking at more and more -5 armor coming across. Skeletal minions are actually surprisingly doing a lot of damage, as the Mountain King gets taken down. Now a Knight's going to get taken down as well. Holy Light coming back in. Death Knight, Lich still low on mana. Death Knight also low on mana, as we see Staff of Sanctuary come across. All right, flying machines now, with the siege damage attack, being able to drop attacks, and all of a sudden the flying machine army, which was completely useless, now able to engage into the ground war. All right, Militia now coming back down across to the south, perhaps to set up a new expansion. Archmage is at 5, Paladin is at 2, Mountain King is at 2. Panda needs to get resurrected. Panda is still sitting at level 2 as well, but the flying machines have to be extremely careful. The Breath of Fire from Panda at level 3 is well, very, very powerful, and will remove much of the hit points, perhaps even be able to take it down if the Panda gets to level 5. Back across over here, Death Knight trying to get in a little bit more experience. Lich sitting at level 3, double Obsidian Statue, or triple Obsidian Statue right here, as the timing has to be perfect. Lich still looking to engage here, able to take down some more units. Lich will be able to get to level 4. Does have a Robe of Magi and that Orb of Corruption. Extra mana, extra damage. There you have it. Death Knight with a Pendant of Energy. And the Pendant of Energy could go or stay on the Death Knight. The Death Knight does want to heal that Lich up considerably, as we now see an Abomination being added as well. Are we getting Disease Cloud? Yes, we are. Disease Cloud, very, very helpful at negating much of the healing, as that Abomination now able to walk around very, very quickly. All right, are we going to actually see Griffins as well? I don't see any Griffin Aviaries as of yet. Meanwhile, the flying machines are still out and about, and we see one destroyer. Now, it's people have often asked me, how do destroyers counter flying machines, or do flying machines counter destroyers? And the answer is, it depends. If the destroyers have mana, the destroyers will normally win out in the fight of equal size, just because of the splash damage there. The flying machines tend to group up very quickly, and even though the flying machines do of themselves have splash damage, they simply do not have enough hit points to really trade effectively. All right, Town Hall is nearing construction. There is some more absorb mana right there. There is some more absorb mana. We are going to be going into triple bases, or triple destroyers already. Abominations up in the front line. Panda could get a breath of fire off here. Yes, taking down all of these towers is just going to be so easy. Meanwhile, the flying machines going after the bases, as we do see Spirit Towers trying to offer a bit of protection. Now, back off to the north, Paladin and the Mountain King trying to level up. Meanwhile, the Archmage is going to be using those Water Elementals to push. Archmage is, in fact, at level 5, does have a Staff of Sanctuary, and the pressure is still coming on. One Abomination being left behind in order to finish the job. Meanwhile, everyone else making their way over as a new Ziggurat getting added. All right, Devour Magic quickly taking down those units once more. We are looking at 46 over 66 Romantic, compared to Lucifer's 52 over 50. Lucifer currently upside down on supply, as the Abomination finishes off some more units. All right, flying machines extremely low on hit points. If the Panda comes across them, or even the destroyers might be able to take down a handful of those units, as we now see another Staff of Sanctuary come across. All right, here you go. There's the engagement. There goes one. There goes a couple more right there. There goes another, as the Panda is going to try and get into position. Are they going to see a heal onto that destroyer? That is the big question, as the units are still trying to engage. Panda, gets stunned, and no breath of fire because of that stun. Beautifully used, as we may see, yes, more breath of fire now just going down onto the Knights. The flying machines able to get away, but the Knights, slowed by the Frost Nova, still ending up getting hero nuked by Lucifer's units. Flying machines now looking to get away once more. Abomination just knocking on the door of that Town Hall, and will eventually be able to take it down. Potion of Healing left behind for the Paladin, as the Paladin now in a bit of trouble. All right, Death Knight could land in some more death coils. Potion of Healing was in fact used. Are we going to see some more chasing underway? Lich unable to get the Frost Nova off. Somehow that Paladin just walking much faster than I would have naturally expected him to be able to watch, as the Death Knight tries to get in front. All right, there is a Knight right there. Are we going to perhaps see an engagement here, going after those units, as the Paladin down to 318 hit points, turned around, Frost Nova, Death Coil dead, as we now see the destroyers going after that Knight there. All right. It looks as though the Abomination was in fact... What happened to it? Did the Abomination head back home? Did it die? I didn't think an Abomination would fall that quickly, but Siege Engines now being added. All right, if you have the economic advantage, why not go Siege Engines, as we only have about 4 minutes left on mining. Siege Engines now making their way over. Flying machines making their way over as well, as the ghouls are looking to take down the Siege Engines as quickly as possible. All right, Archmage looking to join in on the fight. It looks as though Siege Engine number 1 will end up getting taken down, but it could just get Staff of Sanctuary out very, very fast anyways. Panda, Lich now going to go ahead and engage here. Where are the Destroyers units now looking to back off? Death Knight now back down across here. Where are the rest of Lucifer's units? I don't see them. All right, there they are. How were they lost at all? As the Death Knight now completely, well, without the support of the Lich and the Panda. Without the Lich and the Panda, things actually get much, much more difficult. Death Knight is going to be able to get off a Death Coil to finish off that Knight right there. 75 mana, Death Coil finishes off. There you go. 47 over 54. Meanwhile, coming back in across right now, Water Elemental looking to take down another Ziggurat. Siege Engines now rolling on through once again. Death Knight, Lich now looking to join in on the fight. -5 armor to quickly come across here. Panda gonna widen in a Breath of Fire earlier. All three were right in range as we're now looking at the Destroyers eating away through all of those Water Elementals. Panda sitting at level 4. Breath of Fire could be coming across here. There's the Breath of Fire onto the Siege Engine. Could have taken down a lot of the flying machines instead. Didn't, and that may have been a small mistake right there. Panda still has enough mana for another Breath of Fire. Another Destroyer could get taken down. All the Destroyers now down because of the flying machines, but a Panda finishing off the Mountain King and the Paladin with the help of the Death Knight. Death Knight sitting at level 5 may actually get to level 6. Destroyer down to 31 hit points and dead once more as the Necropolis has been taken out. Black Citadel now gone as we see a little bit more haunting of the gold mine heading underway. Breath of Fire trying to finish off the Siege Engine before the Ziggurat gets it. Before the Ziggurat was taken down, no such luck there as 4 Acolytes on the gold mine. 31 over 40 compared to 28 over 54. A new Necropolis will need to be added. Only 1 gold mine is available for mining. This gold mine is now just having the Walk of Shame mined away as the Paladin now once again back out onto the field. Alright, Archmage ready to do some damage. Currently invisible, trying to sneak inside here. Could get mass teleport, and that's exactly what it is looking for. It is looking for mass teleport to get that last 30 mana, and then once it does so, it will do exactly that and be able to move around the map with ease and do it freely. Meanwhile, Peasant's going to be doing the Walk of Shame to this gold mine as well. Is the Archmage engaging? No, not yet. Peasants now walking back here. You can see 1 skeletal minion trying to fight back as we are looking at the Paladin now making its way inside. Alright, it could Divine Shield, and then is it just going to walk on in? No, not quite yet. It is now looking to back off here. Skeletal minions coming across over here. Archmage, invisibility still has plenty to go. Archmage, there you go. Water Elemental, attack, damage, now getting underway. Is it going to get taken down? Oh, Holy Light finishes it off. Archmage, however, still 17 experience away from the next level. Is it going to be able to finish off? Oh, wow, Holy Light right there. Staff of Teleportation. Is it going to be able to make it back out? That is the big question. No, it is not. Paladin now needs to run back home and do it in a hurry. Archmage completely miscalculated that and had to use the Holy Light to save itself right there. Staff of Sanctuary teleporting the Archmage back home. It will regenerate some hit points and its mana. Mountain King should be back in the game in just a moment. Skeletal minions will not be around long enough. Lucifer's Haunted Gold Mine only has, well, I do not know, 3/5 or 5/3 of a minute is how much more mining that there is going to be. So 20% on top of a minute right now. So what is that? 72 more seconds of mining since there's only 4 out right there. All right. Siege Engine now trying to get away. 39 supply compared to 33. The Siege Engine's getting body blocked a lot as we may see the Paladin, or now the Archmage, going to try and Staff of Sanctuary. The unit unable to do so. Staff of Sanctuary is another instead back here. Peasants still walking back. Mountain King, well, the Mountain King could purposely use the Wand of Illusion on some Siege Engines to try and get them to stick around. Who has the better army right now? 42 compared to 33. A lot more Peasants by Romantic, but he is doing and still mining a bit of resources. As you see, more Siege Engines are being added. Meanwhile, Undead unable to mine anymore after these 10 seconds. That is going to be all you see and all you get, as we are now going to get into a 46 supply army with also a single meat wagon. Alright, unsummoning this gold mine will give a little bit more resources once more. Lucifer with a stronger army, but with no economy whatsoever. How long will this game go? And that will easily determine the victor of this fight. Alright, Siege Engines slowly getting added back once again. Skeletal Minion now heading back down to the south here. You can see Mountain King. Oh, Death Coil, Frost Nova, Paladin now using... Oh, Stormbolt now getting down underway as well. Will these units be able to get back in time? If they stand too close together, another Frost Nova will slow them both down. and that is exactly what you don't want to see. Stormbolt going on to another unit. Mountain King in serious trouble. Paladin down to 11 hit points. There he goes. Level 6 now on the Death Knight. Is it level 3 Unholy Aura? Yes, because Death in the, well, Anime Dead is just not that great. Taking down another set of units. Siege Engine. Siege Engine now trying to get back everything with a 30% attack or movement speed increase, and now 150% hit point regeneration. Let's take a look at this. These meat wagons now trying to get away. Archmage and Water Elemental just coming across here, and this may give the Archmage level 6. Alright, if this gives the Archmage level 6, all bets are off to who's going to be the victor, as we are now looking at Siege Engines taking down, yep, a Ziggurat. The Ziggurat is considered a tower. Archmage does get the experience, and now with this, he can mass teleport. Staff of Sanctuary saving one Siege Engine. Going to get in here just a second. No, just going to go ahead and teleport all the way back home anyways, as the Water Elemental is left behind to try and finish off one ghoul. Was it worth it? No, it was not. Just giving more experience again. Alright. Coming back across here, Siege Engine trying to roll back. 35 supply compared to 44. No one the clear victor as of yet. Archmage and Mountain King, both of them still trying to regenerate some hit points. You can see that disease cloud, how quick or how much damage that is just constantly sitting there over time. 35 compared to 44, and I believe Lucifer will end up having this game. He is now re-establishing his gold mine. All of these peasants are just sacrificing themselves on the altar of death, as, well, 5 peasants gone in an instant, and with that, 30 supply compared to 44. Abomination now looking to finish off this Arcane Vault off over here. One Water Elemental rolling on in. Gonna go ahead and Staff of Teleport. Nope, decides not to Staff of Teleport there. Tries to Staff of Teleport back off to the north. Unable to do that. A waste of the mass teleport, as the Archmage is now down to 370 mana. One Water Elemental looking to finish off the Slaughterhouse. Not much being left behind here. Abomination gonna rejoin up over here as Ziggurats will be added. Are we going to perhaps see one meat wagon be left behind here, as well as, well, we are getting more Ziggurats up, and we will be able to start training up some units. Death Knight at level 6, Panda at level 4, Lich at level 5, Water Elemental gonna go ahead and test the waters. Drunken Brawler on the Panda right there, getting evasion and a critical strike. Very, very strong, but we're going to be looking at the Siege Engines now try to roll on in here. All right, Lucifer may end up losing his entire base to the south. He has to run back down here in order to make a play and in order to save some of these buildings. All right, trying to take down Ziggurats, making sure no additional units will be added back in easily. All right, this Altar of Darkness down to 127 hit points, down to 59. As we are now focusing down some more of these buildings. Another Slaughterhouse going to get taken down. Meanwhile, back off to the north, Archmage trying to rush on in to finish off all the Acolytes. Acolytes may get taken down. Archmage with a beautiful two-pronged attack, finishing off some of these Acolytes. Acolytes, only 2 left to mine here, as the Archmage now teleports back down to the south. Archmage now putting pressure back the other way. The Siege Engines are now tearing apart the base, as Lucifer actually going to be able to win this with a smaller army. Death Knight gets a Stormbolt, as now the Mountain King, Staff of Sanctuary saving those units there. Siege Engines gonna try and finish off some more buildings here. Are we going to see a staff or yes, mass teleport again? All the units trying to run away. Siege Engine able to escape, as the Water Elementals are now trying to rush away from, or rush into all of these units, and Lucifer ends up as the victor. Romantic giving up, knowing that Lucifer was going to restabilize, having the higher score. Hope you guys enjoyed that one.